Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to San Jose City College, and welcome to WCAL play. A couple of undefeated teams doing battle here in the South Bay, featuring the 6th-ranked Bellarmine Bells at 3-0. Those rankings according to the Bay Area News Group Top 25, and the unranked Riordan Crusaders, who also had an undefeated non-conference slate. Hey, folks, welcome to the broadcast here on the Bellarmine Sports YouTube page. Kevin Dana, class of 2005, my alumni weekend, a 15-year reunion in year 16 because of COVID. Weren't able to have our reunion last year. And Danny Williams, Bellarmine, class of 2022. And Danny, a fantastic win last weekend over Central Catholic, 28-21, getting the game-winning touchdown pass from Wade Smith to Thomas DiVittorio in the final minute. And you had a chance to talk with the guy who made the game-winning touchdown pass, reception, I should say, in DiVittorio. What do you have to tell you?
I did, and he said it was incredible. He said he really couldn't put it into words, but Tommy, being the person he is, he said, I'm moving on to next week. We have WCL play next week. Got to look ahead. It was a great moment, but got to be prepared for this game.
Well, yeah, Thomas DiVittorio, he's a guy who was looking really good in the summer. Then he kind of got injured during training camp, and so he missed the first week, wasn't quite 100% when the season started. And really, if you ask Jalal Beachman, head coach for Bellarmine in his second season, he's still not 100%, but his not 100% is still pretty darn good.
Yeah, it is pretty darn good, and that's a scary sight for opposing defenses. If his day from the last game wasn't 100%, I don't think teams want to see his 100% on the field.
No, I don't think they do either. Well, the Bellarmine Bells, that 28-21 win. We'll just give you a couple of stats from that one. As Wade Smith had that game-winning touchdown pass, he threw for more than 200 yards, 15 for 27 for 218 and 2 touchdowns. Ben Pfaff, 18 carries for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. DiVittorio, 4 catches for 60 yards. The Riordan Crusaders defeated Granada 35-21 in their first game, then took down Justin Siena up in the Napa area 36-16. That game was played at Riordan and defeated Tamalpais 15-8 in their last non-league game. So far, so good for head coach Mark Modeste in his 3rd season. His father used to coach the Crusaders back in the late 1950s, Ron Modeste, who introduced the victory bell to Riordan. Rung after each varsity win. It was actually procured from a World War II battleship at anchor in San Francisco. So a little nugget there on Archbishop Riordan as we are just about ready for kickoff. And Danny, I know you also had a chance to talk with Brody Stratz, a guy who has been playing both ways in recent weeks for the Bells. What did he have to say?
I asked him, the first thing I asked him was, what do you need to focus on to win this game this week? And he said a theme I mentioned last week, stay disciplined. He said that is our biggest advantage against this Riordan team. Don't miss any assignments. And, yeah, just overall stay disciplined. And I did ask him, can we expect another touchdown? And he said, I'll keep you in suspense. So we'll wait and see.
Of course, he had the touchdown reception in the win over San Leandro in week 2, which happened to be the week 3 of the season. Riordan, like 6 of the other WCAL schools, did not play last week. And that was one big concern for Jalal Beachman is the Crusaders have had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Meanwhile, Bellarmine played last Friday.
They did, and I could see that as an advantage or a disadvantage for the Bells. The Bells having that game from last week, I think really prepared them well for this week. And sometimes for a team, it's hard to have 2 weeks off. Yep. You get out of rhythm sometimes. You don't experience that game atmosphere for a long time. So this Riordan team, while they might be healthy and ready to go, could feel some early game jitters for not having a game in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that is a good point. There could be some rust. They also talk about kind of the bye week allowing you to heal some guys up, but there are a lot of injured Crusaders who have been scratches from this game, so they weren't able to get everybody healthy for this one. We can tell you as we just kind of look down at the Bellarmine sideline, Matthew DeSico will not play, number 21. Atij Mahesh has been on crutches the last couple of weeks. Roy Bernitsky will not play, number 87. But still plenty of healthy Bells as we get ready for kickoff. The Bells will be booting it away. They are in their home navy blue uniforms. Meanwhile, Archbishop Riordan in white awaiting the kickoff. So Jack Rainey will boot it away. 3 guys back deep. The guy in the middle, King Wilhite for Riordan. just about ready to rumble at San Jose City College, home of the Jaguars and Bellarmine Bells. And some sort of issue. This is an alumni weekend, reunion weekend for the classes 5 or 6, 10 or 11, kind of those kind of every 5 years. 2 extra classes this year because of COVID canceling reunions last year. But now we're ready to roll. And Rainey sends it deep, and this will be going into the end zone over the head of Zach Jones for a touchback.
Yeah, it always helps to have a kicker on those kickoffs so you can kick it back into the end zone, not risk a return.
Well, this is a run-heavy Riordan offense led by their leading rusher, Curtis Jones, 359 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Their quarterback is Michael Gormley, who is a dual-threat quarterback, has a strong arm, and he can run. 282 rushing yards for him and 13.4 yards per carry. He has 4 touchdowns on the ground and 3 through the air. He is number 5, and they will start out in shotgun formation with 4 wide receivers. Curtis Jones, the deep back, and well, that is not a good sign if you're Riordan taking a timeout before your first snap.
Yeah, that was a little odd. Maybe they didn't have the right personnel, wrong play call, something's wrong with the signs, I don't know, but wasting a timeout with literally nothing taken off the clock is, yeah, not a good look for Riordan.
And that would be my guess as well, Danny, that either they had the wrong personnel out there or they just had their signals crossed. And Mark Modeste going to have to talk it over a little bit more. He last coached at Strake Jesuit in Houston, which is actually where Mike Janda went to high school in Texas. So here we go. Again out of the gun. 3 wide receivers and a wing back this time, so the formation changed a little bit for Gormley and company. Gormley takes the snap, 3-step drop, looking over the middle of the field, hit as he throws it, it's picked up! And there's a touchdown! You didn't have to wait in suspense for long. It's Brody Stratz coming through after his talk with Danny Williams. And it only took him 7 seconds to strike. Bells go up 6-0 on the first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, he didn't keep us in suspense for that long. 7 seconds into this one, his second interception of the year, and a great start. I don't think you can ask for anything better if you're the Bells. 6-0 early.
How about that? They bring the heat, and Gormley throws it away right to Brody Stratz. And a bad start for the Crusaders. So Rainey on to attempt the extra point. It is up, it is good. 7-0 Bellarmine with 11:53 to go in the first.
Yeah, and I was about to mention before that play, Bellarmine last week had a bunch of pressure against Central Catholic, but they couldn't get that big stop or that big turnover. But right here, they bring pressure again, and they get that big turnover right away.
A great start to this one for the Bells. Of course, 3 other games around the WCL, 2 of them taking place tonight. Big top 20 battle between 16th ranked SI at 2nd ranked St. Francis. Of course, St. Francis, the Dragon Slayers this year, taking down De La Salle a couple of weeks back. And number 11 Valley Christian is at Sacred Heart Cathedral. That's a 7 p.m. kick as well. Tomorrow, top-ranked Sarah is at Mitty. 1 p.m. kickoff in the South Bay. So, there's another kickoff for Rainey, who's been very busy in the first 7 seconds of this game. 2 kickoffs and an extra point. 2 kickoffs and 2 touchbacks. So the Crusaders behind the 8 ball right off the bat. And that's got to be even more frustrating, Danny, is that you take a timeout before your first play from scrimmage, and then after the timeout, you throw a pick 6.
Yeah, you'd think if you're using a timeout, you'd come up with a great play call to start the game off, maybe a trick play or something. But that is not what you want, yeah, especially since you use that timeout right off the bat.
And we'll get to their offense after this snap, kind of some of the people we will see out there. They come out in the pistol this time. 3 wide receivers. This will be a handoff to Curtis Jones running off right tackle. He is a big-time runner. He had a big-time hole, and he gets a big-time gain of 20-plus. Going to be spotted at the 44, a gain of 24 for Curtis Jones.
Yeah, that I think is a start that Riordan wanted to get off to right there with big Curtis Jones running up the far side of the field. And if you're a defense after a big play like that, you can't get lackadaisical. You need to stay locked in on this drive because Riordan, 3-0, that's no fluke. They can come right down the field and score a touchdown.
But they got a couple of really intriguing running backs. And Curtis Jones is a powerful runner. He will bulldoze you over. I had a chance to watch a little bit of that Justin Sienna game. He's an impressive running back. It'll be a handoff. Looked like he bobbled it. It's not much, a gain of 2. In on the stop there for the Bells, big Gino Cresci. I'll give him 1, actually, put it at the 45. Mentioned big Gino Cresci. This team was getting big in the weight room. Less than 24 hours after the win, they were posting photos on Twitter about everyone getting in the weight room, putting up some plates and putting them down. This team is all about the work, the Bells.
Yeah, it just shows the dedication from this team, and they want to win a WCAL title this year.
We're going to have a pre-snap whistle. Flag is down. Could be in the area of a false start. And it looks like the Riordan offense is moving back. Yep. It will be a 5-yard penalty against the Crusaders. Make it 2nd and 14 from the 40.
Yeah, I was talking to Brody Strauss before, and like he said, we have to stay disciplined. That's their biggest advantage. And right there, Riordan being undisciplined with the 5-yard penalty.
So 2nd and 14, 10:33 clock running here first quarter. Trips to the near side, shotgun formation. And more pre-snap movement for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier having 2 weeks off, some early game jitters, and I think that's what's happening right here for Riordan. 2 straight false starts. Not a good look after that big first down run from Jones.
Certainly not easy playing on the road as well. There is a packed stands on this side of San Jose City College bleachers. A lot of fans here cheering on the Bells. Reunion weekend, 2nd and 19. Shotgun snap, throwing far side, overthrowing his receiver, Zion Wells, was Gormley, and that'll bring up 3rd and 19.
Yeah, Zach Tobre on the coverage right there. Was right on his hip. A little separation, but an overthrow for Riordan.
All right, let's get their offensive linemen. The tackles, Josiah Threes, Joseph Harbert. The guards, Leo Jimenez and Losipini Tupo, and Mika Scanlon, the starting center. Their guards and tackles will move from right to left side, so can't call one a left tackle necessary or a right tackle, and they'll get some other guys in there as well. And here we go. Shotgun snap on 3rd and 19. Gormley looking deep. Jake Hansen brings the lumber and sacks him inside the 30. A big loss on 3rd down, and the Crusaders will have to punt.
Yeah, and that left tackle did not look like he saw Hansen at all coming off the edge. Right clear to the quarterback. That is not what you want if you are Riordan right there, having your quarterback just out there in the open for a defender to come and tackle.
It'll be a 5-yard loss on the sack, and that brings up 4th and 24. So Jack McNulty will punt number 12. Long snapper is their normal center, Scanlon, as Tobre is back deep to receive, standing at about his own 40. So here comes the boot. Nice high punt, fair caught inside the 40 at around the 37 by Zach Tobre. So that'll be a punt of more than 30 yards. I'll place it at the 37. That'll be a 33-yard punt, no return. Bells with solid field position to start their first drive.
Yeah, so much action so far early in this one. And we haven't even seen the Bells offense on the field yet. So looking to see what they can do on their first drive.
Speaking of the Bells and their first drive, let's give you the updated depth chart for the Bells. Of course, Wade Smith, the quarterback this year, 4 touchdowns against 2 interceptions, has thrown for 523 yards and has completed more than 50% of his passes. His offensive line from left tackle to right tackle is Nolan Hines at left tackle, Andrea Fasoli at left guard, David Serrano at center, Clark Godinez at right guard, and Nick Corbett at right tackle. Bennett Anderson out of the lineup this week. He had started in previous weeks. Zach Atobre, a slot receiver. Your ex-receiver, Thomas DiVittorio. Rami Nijma, another starting receiver alongside Chris Jabe. Your starting running back, Ben Foff. Your starting fullback, Rocco Trapani, who had a touchdown reception in the win over Central Catholic. Meanwhile, the guys you'll see up front for Riordan, Gino Andrini, Josiah Threets kind of on the edge, Atu Kefu and Evan Merigman, the defensive tackles. Linebackers, kind of a 4-2 look. They play some cover 3, Davion Smith and Mackay Hunt. And your safeties, Chris Murray, Javius Redding. You also see in the secondary Donovan McLean, Zion Best, Antonio Posey. So this game also being televised on KOFY TV in the Bay Area. It's the Bay Area Online Sportsnet production, but we're happy to have you here on Bellarmine Sports, the YouTube page. Kevin Dan alongside Danny Williams as we get ready for Bellarmine's first drive. What are you going to be looking for from this Bellarmine offense, Danny?
Well, I'm going to be looking for, first off, a heavy dose of Ben Foff to begin with. I feel like that's what we see with every drive Bellarmine has, or at least every successful drive. And maybe spread it out to a Tobre, a shifty receiver on the edge, and, of course, Wade Smith's favorite, Thomas DiVittorio.
Those two linking up on the deep ball, 3rd and long from the 34 last week. Game-winning touchdown, 56 seconds to go. So here we go. We're out of the timeout. Wade Smith will take the snap. He hands it off. Foff bouncing it to the outside. Makes Andrini miss and takes a couple of Crusaders to take him down, including Davion Smith, the linebacker. A solid gain on first down for Foff. They'll spot the ball at the 43 for a gain of 6.
Foff right there showing he always breaks the first tackle, it seems like. And it takes a couple of defenders to tackle him, bouncing off tackles, shifty, and with that powerful stiff arm, able to get 6.
7 yards per carry on the season for Foff, who is nearly at 400 yards on the season after that. 2nd and 4 from the 43. Clock is at 8:30 here in the first. Handoff Foff. Met in the backfield and wrestled down by Atu Kefu. Big guy up front for the Crusaders. That'll bring up 3rd down. No gain on the play. Kefu, guy 6'1", 295, leads the team with 6.5 sacks.
6.5 sacks, that's a big number for the first 3 games.
I'll say. So 3rd and 4, big play here for the Bellarmine offense. 4 receivers set out of the pistol is Smith. Otobre in motion to the far side. Smith pass deflected down at the line of scrimmage. And a good job there up front by Mika Scanlon, batting the ball down and forcing a Bellarmine punt on 4th and 4 with 7:41 to go.
Good stand there by Riordan's defense. Big run by Ben Foff on that first down, but able to stymie the Bells at the 43.
So Rainey will boot it away. And King Wilhite back deep for the Crusaders. Rainey gets off the boot from the 43. And this is going to be a very nice punt. I'm not even sure why Wilhite was even getting around that football. It's going to be down at the 2. That's going to be a 55-yard punt with no return.
Talk about a kind roll there from Rainey all the way down to the 2-yard line. And for Riordan, that is not what you want, pinned back deep after that good defensive stand.
I want to say that landed at about the 20 and then rolled another 18 yards. So just great special teams work by the Bells. And that'll bring Gormley and company back out for their third series. 7:28 to go first quarter. Curtis Jones, the running back out of the pistol. He'll get the handoff, tries to bust it up the middle, and met by a bevy of Bells. Ben Coker, one of the first guys there.
Bellarmine obviously planning for that heavy Riordan run attack. And after that first big gash from this Riordan offense, Bellarmine, I think, looking to constrict the middle of the field so Riordan can't get any more big gains like that.
Coker had a big week last week, 11 tackles and an interception. And he missed early part of fall camp and even some of the summer with an injury. Jalal Beachman was saying, Jalal's mentioning that he has done amazing. 2nd and 7. It'll be Jones again, off right tackle. Gino Cresci there to make sure it'll be a third down situation. It is a 5-yard run, so 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 2 coming up for the Crusaders.
Bellarmine, if they get a stop here, will have great field position. But like I said, they need to get a stop first and look for the run up the middle from this Riordan offense.
Yeah, 3rd and 2. You got the whole playbook open. Actually, they might need the 13. I can't quite. 12 or 13. It looks like the 12. So 3rd and a long 2, we'll call it. But yeah, the 3rd and short, they can do whatever they want here, pretty much. Not constricted really by the distance. And he'll go under center I formation. Atu Kefu is the fullback. There'll be a give to Curtis Jones. He's got the first down, gets a big block from Kefu, and scampers past the 25 where he is tripped up by a Tobre for a big first down conversion.
That's Jones' second big run, and if you're the Bellarmine defense, you do not want him heating up here in this first quarter.
They're going to mark him down at 26, so a gain of 16. So he's had a 24-yard run and a 16-yard run. Unofficially right now, 5 carries for 49 yards. Curtis Jones is a bruising back. That is for sure. Look at the Bellarmine defense when we have a chance after this snap. At first, it's 1st and 10 from the 26 for the Crusaders. They got 3 wide receivers out to the near side. And Javius Redding, a change of pace back in there. A very shifty back. He evades a couple of tacklers, but nowhere to go for him in the backfield. Brody Stratz in on the stop.
Good play there by the Bells, moving laterally across to the far side of the field, swarming to make that tackle.
It'll be a 4-yard loss for Javius Redding. Let's give you some of that Bellarmine defense. Starting nose guard Dean Lally, Javon Reels, and Brody Stratz also on the defensive line. John Pirro, Brandon Brock, Gino Cresci, Jake Hansen, your linebackers, and in the secondary, Philip Miller and Zach Atobre at corners. Boundary safety Ben Coker, field safety Nate Escalada. Four receiver set. Redding the running back. 2nd and 14. Pressure comes from Brock. Flushed out of the pocket, Gormley. And taken down at the 21 by Jake Hansen, who gets another sack.
That's a really big threat right there for the Bells. Hansen, not the biggest linebacker, but showing off his speed there, tracking down the quarterback for his 2nd sack of the game.
So I'll bring up 3rd and 16. From the 20, they need the 36. And now, either this is going to be kind of a safe run or they're going to have to air it out. And Bellarmine has been very successful in bringing pressure, so that could be another tough situation for the Crusaders to deal with here. 3:40 to go, clock running, first quarter. Play action, Gormley throws it over the middle behind a couple of receivers. Looked like he was looking for Trey Aquino, was behind him, then went off the hand of Zach Jones and falls incomplete.
Yeah, John Pirro off the edge, applying the pressure, maybe impacted that throw a little bit. Bell's fortunate. The receiver couldn't make the adjustment, and big stop there.
4th and 16 from the 20. Gormley still looking for his first completion after 3 passes. He has thrown 1 interception. McNulty will kick it away. Tobre standing at his own 46. McNulty drops it and does a rugby-style kick. Avoids getting tackled. That could have been a lot worse, but Bellarmine's going to be in Riordan territory and change.
McNulty there, lucky to get it off.
Yeah.
And Bell's thankful that they'll be starting inside their own territory.
The Bells will have it 1st and 10. Where are they going to spot this? The 32. That'll be a 12-yard punt. Had a 33-yard punt the first time with no return. And so the Bells will have a short field to work with, and something to keep in mind if this drive stalls out. I asked Jalal Beachman about Rainey's range, and he said he talked with Rainey this week. He said, where do you feel comfortable? He said, I'm good from 50 yards and in. And even though he missed last week, he went 0 for 2. His 48-yard field goal miss, he had the distance, just didn't go through the uprights.
Yeah, Rainey a little unlucky on those field goals last week, but he definitely has the leg, like you said, and that could be a key factor in this one for the Bells.
3:27 to go in the first quarter. The Bells with a 7-0 lead on Riordan. Give you a look at the Area News Group Top 25 from a WCAL perspective. There are 5 West Catholic athletic teams ranked. Sarah, number 1, St. Francis, number 2, Bellarmine, number 6, Valley Christian, number 11, and St. Ignatius, number 16. Riordan with a win here, you'd imagine would get into the top 25, but they got a lot of work to do there. In the non-conference, 6 of the 8 teams had winning records in the WCAL. Mitty went 1-2, Sacred Heart Cathedral went 0-3, but Riordan, Bellarmine, Sarah, and St. Francis all undefeated. Sarah and St. Francis 2-0, Riordan and Bellarmine 3-0, and SI and Valley Christian went 2-1.
The WCAL, one of the most competitive leagues in Northern California. And Sarah coming into this season was the favorites. But looking at it now, there are a plethora of teams that can go for that title this season.
Which game are you looking forward to the most this year?
This year, right now, how things are going, probably St. Francis and Sarah. Those 2 teams looked like they came out to play this season.
Oh, that is for sure. We'll have the St. Francis game, I should say, right here at San Jose City College. You can watch that one on the Bellarmine Sports YouTube page. So here we go out in the TV timeout taken by the TV broadcast. It is 1st and 10 for the 32. Pistol set, and there is a flag down. Makes you think false start, but we'll see. It will be a false start on the Bells, so their first penalty of the game.
Looks like a little bit of shuffling this week on the Bellarmine offensive line as opposed to weeks prior, and that could be the cause of that penalty.
Yeah, no Bennett Anderson out there. Andrea Fasoli moved from the right side of the offensive line to left guard. And we're going to have another whistle and another flag. So Riordan had back-to-back false starts on one of their drives this quarter, and Bellarmine's going to suffer the same fate. So I'll make it 1st and 20. Not a good start to this drive for the Bells. Five wide here for Wade Smith. Pfaff's in motion. Screen toss to Pfaff. He makes the catch. He's inside the 40, and he's pushed out of bounds at around the 36 by Smith. I'll give him the 37. It'll be a 5-yard completion. Makes it 2nd and 15.
Getting a couple of yards back on that play. And that play last week was the one that cost Ben Pfaff 2.1 fantasy points.
Yeah, 21 yards lost on the fumble on a backwards pass, and he did well to just eat that one. 2 wide receivers, tight end in there. Play action for Smith, throwing near side, has his man. It's caught inside the 30. The catch made by Thomas DiVittorio. Makes it 3rd and manageable as he'll be spotted at the 27-yard line, so that's a gain of 10, and makes it 3rd and 5.
Good route there by DiVittorio on that comeback route. Dropped his hips, able to go low and make that reception for a 3rd and manageable here for the Bells.
He had 4 catches for 60 yards of the game-winning touchdown reception last weekend against Central Catholic. 3rd and 5, pistol set. Smith looking near side again, throws it behind DiVittorio, and the pass falls incomplete. So 4th and 5, and we'll see if they bring Rainey out there or keep the offense on the field. And right now it looks like Wade Smith and company are staying out there.
With the way this defense has been playing for the Bells, I don't mind this decision right here. Already up 7-0,
Yeah.
Looking to make this game a big start in this first quarter.
2:43 to go first quarter. This could be a big play here on 4th down. 4th and 5. Jabe and Atobre in motion out to the far side. Screen toss to Atobre. And he will be very close to the first down marker. He is stood up right around the 22. He might be a half yard short. It looked like Curtis Jones made this stop. And you know what? He's going to be a yard short. They don't get it.
Big stand there for the Riordan defense. Able to get the ball back on a turnover on downs. And Atobre on that little zero route looked like he had the edge if he would have just used his speed to get that edge instead of cutting it back.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, good play by the Riordan defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but looked like he might have had more space to the outside. But Tobre's done a really nice job this year. A nice catch, just couldn't get the line to gain. So 1st and 10 from the 23, 2:33 to go first quarter. He trips to the near side. 4 receivers set for Gormley out of the gun. And it's going to be an option pitch, and Javius Redding has a nice run there to the outside, full steam ahead. And he'll get about 7 or 8 yards on first down. So 2nd and 2 from the 31, 2:29 to go first quarter. They give him 8. It's Jones Kleppen to the near side, and Zion Wells. Gormley looking far side and overthrew his intended receiver, Atobre, with blanket coverage. It would have been tough to get that one to Chris Murray, his intended target. It's incomplete.
Yeah, Zach Atobre running stride for stride with the receiver right there, right on his hip, and we've seen that twice already this game early. So good coverage there by Zach Atobre.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. You've mentioned his blanket coverage. What do you like about Zach on the defensive side of the ball?
I like his quickness and I like his mobility, his ability to shift his hips, and his just pure speed to run with the defender down the field.
Well, it has worked for him thus far in this game and this season. 3rd and 2. Gormley out of the gun. They have a wing back in there. It's Kleppen, but the handoff goes to Jones, and he's going to forage forward for a first down. Gets up to the 35 after a gain of 4. Good, tough running from Curtis Jones. So we have him at 6 carries for 53 yards, almost 9 yards per toe to the rock, as we get under 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Almost 2 minutes. 2:03 right now and counting. Gormley with Dean Lally in his face. He's flushed out of the pocket and going low to make the tackle, Zach Atobre.
Good pressure up the middle there by Lally, forcing the quarterback to roll out, and Tobre right there to make the nice play.
That'll be no gain. So we see Tobre with some nice plays in coverage, then comes up and makes the stop on the outside. Makes it 2nd and 10 with 1:51 to go in the first quarter. Ball's at the 35 of Riordan. Game started with a pick 6 for Brody Stratz on the first play from scrimmage. Haven't had a score since. Handoff to Jones, nowhere to go. Matthew Rose in on this stop. He had some help from his fellow Bells as well. After a short gain of 1, that brings up 3rd and 9.
Big Matthew Rose has been inactive for the first couple of weeks and making his presence felt right there on that inside run.
Matthew Rose, senior, 5'11", 275. He hits the weight room. $1:20 to go here in the first quarter. 4 receivers set. 3rd and 9 from the 36. Gormley back to pass. Pressure in his face. Throwing it deep. Has a man wide open, but can't connect with Zach Jones. And I think you got to give a lot of credit there to Brandon Brock, who brought the pressure up the middle and really hurried up Gormley there.
Yeah, it looks like Zach Tobre might have slipped on the outside running with that wide receiver. I think if Brock doesn't get in there, that's a better thrown ball and maybe a big play for this Riordan offense.
Yeah, because Jones was all alone. Yeah, the Bell's fortunate, and that pressure does work, and it's 4th and 9. And McNulty will have to punt. Dropped the snap last time and had to get off a rugby-style boot that only went 12 yards. Tobre is back deep for the Bells. Here comes the kick. Nice high boot. And Tobre fumbles it. Does he get back on it? He does. Very fortunate.
That punt kind of swirling and whirling around in the air, and Tobre looked like he was trying to catch a fly ball out in Oracle Park right there, but fortunate enough to land on it.
Yeah, that's the thing about those big, high kicks. Not only does it let the defense get down there, but maybe you can get caught up in some upper winds that kind of make that ball swirl. It was not an easy punt to deal with, and a nice boot there from McNulty. So the Bells will take over 1st and 10 from their own 25 with 52 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Bells going for it on their last drive on 4th and 5. Couldn't get it here, looking to make this one a 2-score game with just under a minute left to go.
Kevin Dana, Danny Williams with you. It'll be a pistol formation. Stratz and Rocco Trapani in motion. Be a handoff to Pfaff going off left guard. And Pfaff gets a couple, not a whole lot of space there. Davion Smith in on the stop alongside Curtis Jones. It'll be a gain of 2. Under 30 seconds to play. Look at Chris Jabin there for this snap. Rami Nijma. Thomas DiVittorio is not sure whether he should be on or not. He will be on the field. He'll be lined up wide to the Bellarmine sideline, and now everyone in motion. Bunch formation to the right, and it's going to be a handoff. It's going to be Pfaff, and that looks like a face mask on a 2 Kefu, and the flags fly.
Three penalties here for Riordan in this first quarter, not what you want, trailing a score already.
So we're assuming this is a face mask. It looked pretty obvious from our position in the broadcast booth. Yep, personal foul face mask. So mark off 15 yards, and the Bells will have it 1st and 10 from their own 45. And since that penalty occurred as the last play of the quarter, we will have one untimed down like we had at the end of the 3rd quarter last weekend against Central Catholic. There we go. This is the last play of the first, unless we have a penalty. Stratz isn't sure if he should be on the field, and they get Jabe out of there. Stratz will line up at tight end. Handoff, Pfaff up the middle into Riordan territory. And it'll take 4 Crusaders to get him down, but not before a gain of 8. And so that'll do it for the first quarter. Pfaff is starting to get his legs underneath him. 5 carries for 19 yards. The Bells with a pick 6 from Brody Stratz on the first play from scrimmage. That has given them the 7-0 lead after 12 minutes of play. We'll come back with the second quarter after this break on the Bellarmine Sports YouTube page. Welcome back to San Jose City College after 12 minutes of play. 7-0 Bellarmine. As we start the second quarter, the Bells have it 2nd and 2 from the Crusader 47. They got 5 wide receivers. Pfaff's in motion. Smith looking downfield. He has Pfaff open, but he's going to take off and run himself. Looking for the first down, and he is wrangled down right at about the first down marker by Davion Smith. It'll be interesting to see where they spot this. And looks like they're going to bring out the chains. I don't know, the way they're spotting the football, this is a first down easily. Yep, and they'll move the chains.
Smith on that play using his strength and speed. Couldn't find anybody open downfield, but able to bounce out of the pocket for that crucial first down.
A 2-yard gain on his first carry of the game. The Bells with 40 yards of total offense to this point. Smith rolling out to the right, has his man DiVittorio, who has a first down. Tripped up by Redding, but not before the chains move again, and Bellarmine is inside the Crusader 35.
Good rollout there by Wade Smith. Found his receiver DiVittorio on that crossing route, able to put it right on the money, and DiVittorio able to get a first down.
Thomas with 2 catches for 22 yards now. Clock's at 11:25. 1st and 10 from the 33. Design keeper for Wade Smith. He has the edge. He's inside the 25. And it takes a while for Davion Smith to eventually bring him down inside the 20 at the 18. A gain of 15 for Wade Smith and another Bellarmine first down.
Bellarmine going hurry up on that one for the designed run by Wade Smith, able to get to the outside. And like I mentioned last week, Smith isn't like a regular quarterback. He doesn't want to get out of bounds or slide. He wants to run people over, and he showed why right there.
And I imagine, Danny, that's just really got to jack you up as a teammate when you see your quarterback looking to deliver punishment.
It definitely will.
Then Pfaff. They'll get inside the 15. Davion Smith's made a ton of tackles already. He gets another one. That'll be a gain of 4 for Pfaff. That brings up 2nd and 6 from the Crusader 14-yard line. 10:45 to go second quarter. Smith hands it off. Pfaff off the left side. He's got the first down. And Chris Murray and King Wilhite bring him down, but not before a gain of 9 or 10. And another first down. It'll be a gain of 9 for Pfaff, and this Bellarmine offense is starting to find its footing, Danny.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, for this Bellarmine offense to succeed, they need a heavy dose of Ben Pfaff. And Ben Pfaff with a couple of good runs on this drive, and Bellarmine looking to punch it in.
First and goal, they're going to mark him down at the 6, a gain of 8. Off the deep back, Trapani to the right of Smith. Play action. They're looking for Trapani, and for the second straight week, he has a touchdown reception in the red zone. Bells go up 13-0.
Nice play there by Smith, able to find Trapani wide open in the flat. Easy walk-in touchdown. Bells up 13-0.
So Rocco Trapani had the first touchdown of the game last week against Central Catholic. They're ringing the bell here at San Jose City College, and he gets his second touchdown reception. It's his third reception of the season. 2 of them have found pay dirt. $10:23 to go here in the second quarter, and Rainey is on for the extra point. The kick is up, the kick is good, and that makes it 14-0 Bells. And, you know, drive by drive, Danny, we've seen Bellarmine's offense perform better each time, and this time it winds up with a touchdown. Yeah,
Bellarmine, they're a late game team, and that means they progress very well throughout the game, and showing why on that drive, moving right down the field. Big runs by Ben Pfaff, and ultimately the touchdown pass by Trapani.
Yeah, it was an 8-yard run for Pfaff that set up the touchdown pass. Pfaff now 7 carries for 31 yards. And over his last 4 carries, he's gotten 23 yards. So this is something we talked about last week. Pfaff is one of those guys that wears a defense down as the game goes on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he gets tired at all during the game. It's almost like he gets stronger throughout the game. So that is not a good sign for this Riordan defense going forward.
Rainey will boot it away. Wilhite back deep for the Crusaders. Have Chris Murray and Trey Aquino out there a couple of yards ahead of Wilhite. And so far, 2 kickoffs, 2 touchbacks for Rainey. And the Bells will start the second half with the kick. Receive the second half kickoff. This one will reach the end zone as well. So 3 for 3 for number 6 in navy blue and baby blue. First and 10 from the 20. And we will have a TV timeout. Thank you for joining us here on the Bellarmine Sports YouTube page. And there is a TV broadcast of this on KOFY TV 20 in the Bay Area. But, well, Danny, it's been a great start to this season with the wins over Menlo Atherton, San Leandro, Central Catholic. You don't want to look too far ahead, but next weekend, Huge game at Sarah.
Yeah, and Sarah coming in this season as the favorites to win WCAL. And I wouldn't say have a big test against Midi in their first game, but they will have a big test next week against these Bellarmine Bells.
Yeah, Midi picked to finish 6th in the WCAL, and kind of a slow start to the season for them at 1-2. Try to get you some updates as the night goes on from the other 2 WCAL games that are going on tonight. Midi and Sarah will play tomorrow night. Games tonight, St. Ignatius at St. Francis, and Valley Christian at Sacred Heart Cathedral. So Riordan has it 1st and 10 from their own 20. Popped off some big runs, but so far the passing game has failed them to this point. Gormley has yet to complete a pass.
Yeah, and that could be attributed to this Bellarmine pressure that they're bringing off the edge. Gormley getting flustered on what looks like every single throw. So keep this up for the Bellarmine Bells defense.
Waiting for the signal from the red hat. When we're coming back from commercial, which is right now. Here we go. 1st and 10 from the 20, a shotgun formation. They've mostly been out of the gun, just one snap under center thus far for Gormley. There'll be a handoff to Jones running to the left, and Curtis Jones gets a nice gain of 5 on 1st down.
For the Bellarmine defense, it is crucial to stop Jones. Don't let him break off any more big runs. 5 yards you can live with, but if it's 15, 20-yard runs at a time, that is not a good look for the Bellarmine defense.
Yeah, I mean, Danny, he's their bell cow. They have 56 yards of total offense, and Curtis Jones has 59 of them. So they've gone negative without Curtis Jones. 2nd and 5 from the 25. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Option toss out to Jones. Let him get to the outside, and, well, he ran into Coker and kind of stood him up. It was kind of a stalemate there as he goes out of bounds at the 29. Those are 2 strong dudes. Button heads there, and it'll be 3rd and short.
That's the 2nd time we've seen that kind of option play from this Riordan offense. And the first time, it was a good pitch to Javius Redding, and this time goes to Jones. So look to see more of that from the Riordan offense.
See, last time they had 3rd and short, they went into I formation. Now this will be out of the gun. Try to spread this Bellarmine defense thin in the middle. They hand it off to Javius Redding. Breaks 1 tackle, spins out of another. Nice run for a 1st down. Finally spilled by Reels.
Needed to, and he got to. And bounced off that first tackler. That's all you need. 1st down for this Riordan offense.
So 4 carries, 6 yards for Javius Redding. 9:29 to go in the first half. 14-0 Bellarmine. Four receivers and the pistol. Redding is the running back. Now he steps to the side of Gormley. Back to pass, looking far side, has an open receiver, and fortunate for Bellarmine, Zion Wells slipped because he had a lot of green around him with nobody nearby.
It looked like a little bit of blown coverage there from the Bells, and like you said, luckily that he had to slide to catch that pass.
That was the first completion of the game for Michael Gormley. Zion Wells making the grab with a gain of 4. So here is 2nd and 6. Gormley will keep it. Bellarmine was not fooled. Johnny on the spot is Javon Reels, a guy that has impressed Jalal Beachman all season.
Yeah, and again, I was talking with Brody Stratz, and I asked him which guys had a good week in practice. One of the guys he mentioned was Javon Reels, and coming up big on that play.
That'll be a loss of 6, makes it 3rd and 12. What stands out to you about Javon?
Just his motor, his intensity. He's always seems like the first guy to the ball. He's always getting pressure. And as a junior, he's one of the best defensive linemen on this team.
He came into this game with 13 tackles, a sack, a couple of quarterback hurries, a TFL. He has been busy in 2021. 3rd and 12 from the 31, 7:40 to go. Gormley back to pass. Throwing over the middle. It's picked off. It's Brandon Brock, and he gets upended. Ball comes out, and who has it? Brock with the interception. He flipped over his head, and the Bells have it inside the 25. Brandon Brock with the interception.
Big play there from Brandon Brock. It looks like the quarterback threw it right to him. And Brock able to have a nice return. A little scary hit at the end there, but fortunate that Brock is okay and the Bells recover the ball.
Well, Brock led the team in tackles coming into this game with 24, and he has his first turnover of the season with that interception. The second time they've picked off Gormley in his 7 pass attempts. The ball is at the 24-yard line of Riordan. And a chance to really create some separation here. DiVittorio out to the far side of the field, trips near side. Screen toss for Atobre. Blockers in front of him, including Nijma and Jabe. And Atobre gets a nice gain, and that will move the chains of Bellarmine first down on the screen toss to Zach Atobre.
And that's where Atobre thrives. Out in space, able to use his agility, his quickness, as you can see with the nice spin move there, and a good gain for the Bells.
That'll be 11 on that pickup. And a timeout taken by Riordan, their second charge timeout. And that kind of gives you the feeling that Riordan's kind of feeling the I'm not sure if pressure's the right thing, but they recognize the importance of keeping Bellarmine out of the end zone on this drive.
They do, and coming in this game, they haven't faced an opponent nearly as lethal as this Bellarmine team on both sides of the ball, and looking to limit this one early so it doesn't get out of hand.
So 14-0. We appreciate the comments we're seeing on the YouTube page. We appreciate your participation. Frosty saying Strats has learned the lessons the game has to teach. We can't agree more. 1st and 10 from the 13. 7:16 to go. Smith back to pass. No, he's going to tuck it and run. Open middle of the field. He's looking for the end zone. He's in the end zone for another Bellarmine touchdown. A 13-yard scamper to the end zone for Wade Smith.
That's what makes Wade Smith so dynamic. His ability, did not see anybody open, went right up the middle, had tons of room. Nice move at the end to get into the end zone, and just another big play from Wade Smith.
$20-0 Bellarmine with 7:10 to go in the second quarter. The second touchdown for Wade Smith. 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. And Rainey's extra point is up. It is good. It is 21-0 Bellarmine with 7:10 to go here in the second quarter. Well, Danny, after a drive like that, it's a long game, obviously, but with the way this one has gone, you kind of feel like Bellarmine has a chance to really pour it on here.
They do, and the way their offense has looked on these last 2 drives, almost perfectly gliding right down the field for those 2 scores, and their defense playing as well as they can. Starting to look a little out of hand in this one early.
Plenty of time for Riordan to get back in, and they have some really good athletes. And according to Jalal Beachman, he said these are some of the better athletes in the running back position they'll see all year, and Javius Redding and Curtis Jones. But when you're down 21, kind of forced to air it out a little bit, and the passing game to this point for Riordan has not been there. 1 for 7 is Gormley for 4 yards and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, it hasn't. And Beachman saying that about these Riordan running backs is a big compliment, considering they just faced Aiden Taylor last week for Central Catholic.
Oh, Aiden Taylor was a lot of fun to watch. He had like 100 yards in the first half of that game. Bellarmine won 28-21, avenging a 28-21 loss to Central Catholic the year before in a game in which they were up 21-0. That was a big win last week for Jalal Beachman. I asked him about the win, and he just kind of simply said, well, it was a good night. As kind of one of those gut check games, he said he knew it would go down to the wire, and a team like Central Catholic that has great talent and is well coached. Jalal said we knew they were game and that they would play fourth quarters and that we would have to make one more play than they did. And they did at the end. We've talked about the DiVittorio touchdown reception, but how about Nate Escalada's game-sealing interception?
It was unbelievable. It was the play you wanted most in that situation. The game sealer. And Escalada, he's the backup quarterback. Everybody has to remember that. And most times you don't ever see the backup quarterback on the field, but Escalada, too athletic, too talented to not be out there, and makes the biggest play of the game.
Escalada has had a really nice season. He's taken a couple of snaps kind of out of the Wildcat. He got some backup mop-up duty in the blowout win over San Leandro and had a touchdown run in that game. And he is very good on the defensive side of the ball. Made the game-ending interception on the last play of the game as Central Catholic had gotten inside the Bellarmine 20. Had one heave to the end zone, and Escalada was the man who came down with it. So 1st and 10 from the 20. It's 4 kickoffs, 4 touchbacks now for Rainey. He's done a nice job in the kicking game, 3 for 3 on extra points, 4 for 4 on touchbacks. He has done his job. I have the band on the track today. Usually they're up in the stands. Is this something they're going to do going forward? Do you know, Danny?
I don't know, but it might just be 'cause today's the tailgate and they expected a lot of people, so the band needed to be somewhere, and the track looks like the best spot.
Yeah. Now here we go. 1st and 10. Pistol set. Handoff to Redding, trying to gain the edge, and he'll be bumped out of play before he can get to the 25. Ben Coker there to make things happen for the Bells defensively. See where they spot the football as Redding will get a gain of 3, 2nd and 7 from the 23.
This Bellarmine defense, not the biggest, but they do move across the field. As you saw, Coker there coming from a safety position to make the tackle, and also Gino Cresci as well.
Yeah, Bellarmine traditionally, going back to the Janda days, not known for having the biggest lines, not the biggest team in the trenches, but certainly guys that work very hard and have been very productive. Farrell standing close to the line of scrimmage as an outside backer. This one's going to go up the gut. This will be a short gain of about 3 or 4. It's Redding again. This is his series thus far. They're going to give him 4. It brings up 3rd and 3. Reels on the stop. Redding coming into this game averaging 6.6 yards per carry, 112 yards for the season. He does have 2 rushing touchdowns this year. It is 3rd down. They need the 30. 3rd and a short 3, long 2, however you want to split it. Be a handoff to Redding, and he stood up, but he stays on his feet, and then he's taken down from behind. The tackle made by who else? Ben Coker, number 24. Excuse me, Jake Hansen, number 22. So Hansen had a sack, gets a big TFL there, and it forces a Riordan punt.
And again, Brandon Brock getting in there early with the pressure, and Hansen using his speed coming off the edge to make the TFL.
So about 5 minutes to go in the first half. And McNulty will have to boot it away. This will be his fourth punt. And he drops another snap. This was a low snap, not entirely his fault. Gets off a boot, hurried one, and that's going to take a Bellarmine bounce. It'll die at about the 39. But Tobre is going to return it. I thought Riordan had touched it down. They're going to give Tobre a touchdown? Well, there's a flag down at the 10. They do signal touchdown. That was a weird play. I thought Riordan had touched it down.
Yeah, it looked like a defender for Riordan just kind of kicked the ball, and Tobre, I don't think, realized, picked it up and ran to the end zone. So a little bit of an unusual play. We'll see what happens here.
Well, they put 6 points on the board. I thought it was down at the 39. Well, that's one, if you're Mark Modeste, you just got to be scratching your head. Bellarmine might have the talent edge here, but that's one you don't want to give up. And the penalty is against Riordan. And it is a touchdown. We're getting the confirmation. I haven't seen a play like that before. And you mentioned it, Danny. Riordan player kicked the football instead of just patting it down with his hand. And
I don't think he realized touching it is different from kicking it. And I think kick ball violation, I think, was the penalty it might have been. But yeah, just an unusual play there. But Bell's fortunate enough to get a touchdown.
Bellarmine's a man short on special teams. Gino Cresci is sprinting out there. Now they got their 11. What a wild play. And Zach Tobre will take it 39 yards to the house. Extra point is good from Rainey. 28-0 Bells. As this one is starting to get out of hand.
And that play kind of sums up this whole entire game for Riordan. Just didn't come out strong with the pick six and just everything not going their way. And yeah, this one getting out of hand here in this first half.
Just a heads-up play from Zach Tobre. And I think Riordan learned a lesson going forward. They won't forget. You got to actually down the football.
Yeah, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if next week Riordan's doing a little extra running for that one.
Yeah, I'll say. Rainey will boot it away. $28-0. 4:40 to go, second quarter. See if he gets another touchback. And a reminder, Bellarmine will receive the second half kickoff. And so with penalty yardage that was assessed on the kickoff, so Bellarmine will be kicking it from the Riordan 45. Last week wondered if Bellarmine would try to get fancy on a kickoff, kicking it from Central Catholic territory. They just booted it through the end zone. We'll see what Rainey does here. And yeah, he's going to try to put that one through the uprights. I can't quite tell from this angle. The Bellarmine fans put their hands up signaling that it went through, but not sure their angle was any better. I guess now, Danny, you got 4:40 to go, and obviously you want to keep the lead where it is, but this is a time where slippage could happen, right? You could take your foot off the gas, you're blowing a team out, but there's still plenty of game left, and certainly now is not the time to let up.
Yeah, there is a lot of game left, like you said, and Riordan's undefeated. They are not a bad team.
Yeah.
They've made some crucial mistakes, but they do have that big play ability to come right back into this game.
28-0. Gormley hands it off. Run up the middle, and that'll be Reading for a gain of 3 or 4. We haven't seen Curtis Jones last couple of series. Gonna bring King Wilhite in. Searching the Riordan sideline as Reading comes off. Jones isn't out there. 2nd and 7 from the 23. Wilhite is now the running back. I'm not sure what's up with Curtis Jones. Play action, throw over the middle. Thrown behind his intended target, Zion Wells, and it's knocked free. Incomplete pass. Wells never had control of it.
Yeah, I think if that's a better thrown ball, that's completion, but Bell's fortunate. The receiver had to kind of turn around and adjust, and looks like Ben Koger was there to bat it out of his hands for the incomplete pass.
3rd and 7 from the 23, 3:46 to go. Pistol set, another chance for Bellarmine to get off the field. It's a handoff to Wilhite. Wilhite needs the 30. He's going to be about a yard short. Gain is 6 for King Wilhite. It'll be 4th and 1. There is an injured Crusader down. Don't have a number yet. The training staff will come out onto the field to look at the injured player for Riordan. Well, as if this game couldn't get any tougher, Danny. Curtis Jones, 9 carries for 63 yards, but we haven't seen him the last couple of series. We don't know what's going on, but if he can't go, that would not be good for Riordan.
Yeah, he's been pretty much their only offense thus far in this one, and to have him out would be a massive blow for this Riordan team, already in a massive hole down 28-0.
The injured player is number 55, Joseph Harbert. He is a starting offensive tackle. 6'4", 280-pound senior, also has 7 tackles on the defensive side of the football. And so he'll have to go out. They've changed their center. It's Andre Angelis, number 71, it appears to be now. So kind of moved some pieces on the offensive line. 4th and 1, they're going for it. And there's movement. Left tackle, Josiah Threets. That'll make it 4th and 6, and that'll bring on the punt team.
And just when you think things can't get any worse for this Riordan offense, they do right there. Their 3rd false start of this first half, and down 28-0. I'm sure they'll get a stern talking to at halftime.
That is the 5th penalty on Riordan. They've had 2 penalties of the 15-yard variety. 4th and 6, 2:45 to go. High snap this time. McNulty gets a nice leg under it. This one will hop out of bounds at the 49. So a 26-yard punt, no return. Actually, 27 yards. I move it to the 47, so correct that one more time. 29-yard punt with no return. Smith, the QB, as usual. Pfaff, the running back in the pistol set. Could be the last possession before halftime for the Bells. Man in motion. It's a toss to Nijma. Rami Nijma gets some nice blocking on the outside. Good block by Rocco Trapani to spring him forward to about the 42-43. And what looks like it'll be another first down. Yes, they do move the chains. It'll be a gain of 11.
That run by Nijma just shows the depth this Bellarmine offense has. First time his name has been called, and a guy we haven't heard his name yet on this offensive side is Chris Jabe, the Bells' biggest deep threat. And if this game was a little closer, I think he'd look to get involved, but this one, 28-0. We will see.
2:28 to go. Dear Silva Castro checks in, big number 50. A nose guard for this team. Trips to the far side. Smith looking deep. Throwing deep. Has a man. Thomas DiVittorio comes down with it in the end zone for a Bellarmine touchdown. 42 yards, and the Bells are piling it on here at San Jose City College.
That ball was thrown on an absolute rope by Wade Smith. The defender, pretty good coverage on DiVittorio. DiVittorio looked like had a couple of steps, but Wade able to drop it right in the bucket for the score.
Well, we talked last week about the deep ball, the deep threat. It wasn't working at first against Central Catholic. Then they hit a couple of deep throws late on that game-winning drive to Jabe and then DiVittorio. That's the best deep ball we've seen thrown from Wade Smith all year.
Yeah, that ball was perfectly placed. Smith had all the time in the world. Great play design by Joel Beachman. And Bellarmine up 35-0.
2:15 to go. The Bells all over the undefeated Crusaders. And this just continues a growth that we've seen. I mean, Bellarmine did not play the Little Sisters of the Poor in the non-conference. Menlo Atherton was ranked 5th. San Leandro was ranked in the top 20. Central Catholic's one of the best teams in the Sac Joaquin section that is coming off, in the last decade, had won 4 straight state titles. They challenged themselves. They passed all those tests with flying colors, and now they're going into league play, and it is holding up so far.
Yeah, and this Bellarmine offense and defense, for that matter, proving they are legit in this tough WCL league. And Riordan right now, just looking to score before this half, not make it too much of a disappointing half, but this Bellarmine offense came to play in this second quarter.
And they've gotten a lot of help from their defense as well. Scored on the first play from scrimmage, a pick 6 for Brody Stratz. They've got another interception from Brandon Brock. This one returnable for Zach Jones. Trying to bounce it to the outside. He's at the 17, and that'll be a kind of a horse collar tackle, kind of a clothesline there from Joey Michaels, number 86. Violent tackle. That wasn't intentional, just kind of the way he got him there, Joey, but that'll be a penalty.
Yeah, and you could see kind of tensions flaring on that rear sideline. They are all not in the best mood right now, down 35-0. But if you're this Riordan team, try and stay composed and just try and play your best football here with 2 minutes left to go in this first half.
Now, they called a face mask. I didn't see him get the face mask. It just looked like a violent tackle. Kind of a little awkward, but they'll give him the 25. I guess the thing you hope, situation like this, that you mentioned tempers, you don't want them to flare too much here in a situation where you have a blowout.
Yeah, and you really don't if you're Riordan right here. Just looking to fix some things up on your offense, limit the turnovers, and potentially have a big drive at the end of this half.
Bellarmine with 3 offensive touchdowns, a special teams touchdown, and a defensive touchdown. That's how they're up 35-0. Gormley back to pass. Nice throw, but just over the head of his intended target. Looking that time for Luke Zaromsky, the 6'1", 195-pound junior who has 1 catch on the season. He's connected on 1 pass for 4 yards and 9 attempts. .202 to go. Got some backups in there. Will Rainey at safety. Musa Sakafi at cornerback. For the Bells. Back to pass. Thrown over the middle, and that one I think was skipped in. Yeah. Yep, that's what they're going to say. Looking for Zach Jones. Just a little bit underthrown.
Yeah, and Riordan trying to go at Sakafi, who just came in the game, and looks like Bellarmine was running a little bit of a zone defense there, but just couldn't fit the ball in that window.
Musa Sakafi, a junior, 5'10", 155-pounder, class of 2023. Third and 10. Yeah, the Bells can get off the field again. Pirro brings the pressure, looking for Zach Jones. Pass is caught, and Sakafi tackles him inside the 40. A big play for the Riordan offense, and Zach Jones has something to say about it.
Yeah, and pretty good coverage there by Sakafi, but a good throw by Gormley, and the first big play in a while for Riordan.
39 yards to Zach Jones. In my opinion, you got to respect the man who's willing to talk trash when his team's down 5 touchdowns. Don't let that fire go away.
Yeah, and showing that competitive spirit, but try to not let it get out of hand if you don't want any unnecessary penalties.
Yeah, that's for sure. They've had enough penalties to deal with. 4 receivers. Handoff Javius Redding, nowhere to go. Dean Lally there. First guy to get him was John Pirro, number 45. Redding's going to lose 1 on the play.
Pirro, another one of those junior linebackers. Another guy, Brody Stratt said, had a great week of practice and making a big play there.
And Pirro's been a starter this season. 6 foot, 180-pounder. Second on the team with 19 tackles. Has 2.5 TFLs this year, tackles for loss. Under a minute to go here in the first half. It's 2nd and 11. First foray past midfield for the Crusaders. Deep ball. What a catch by Zach Jones, but he was out of play. However, a flag is thrown in the secondary, and this could be PI on Musa Sakafi.
The Bellarmine sideline is pointing towards Riordan, and they're looking for maybe a push off on Zach Jones, but nonetheless, an unbelievable catch, and this will be interference on Sakafi.
Yeah, it won't go down as a completion, but Zach Jones just got his Odell Beckham on. That was incredible.
Yeah, even though that one wasn't in bounds, I'd still put that one on the highlight reel.
Oh yeah, same here. 1st and 10 from the 21 after the 15-yard penalty on pass interference. And Javius Redding just absolutely nowhere to go. First guy to get into the backfield was Brandon Brock, and then he got help from his teammates. That's going to be a loss of 4, and Riordan's going to use its final timeout with 27 seconds to go.
Riordan's whole offensive scheme on this drive looks like just going at Musa Sakafi at corner, and it's worked pretty well, but that running game has just not been it without Curtis Jones.
Yeah, it really hasn't. Right now we have Javius Redding, and don't trust these numbers. We're just doing them on the fly, but unofficially, we have him 10 carries for 10 yards. Gormley, because of a couple of sacks, 3 carries for -11. Wilhite, 1 carry for 6. Compared to Curtis Jones, 9 carries for 63 yards. And he had 2 runs of 16 plus, a 16-yarder, and his first carry from scrimmage went for 24 yards. So that was the 3rd and final timeout for Riordan. Bellarmine does have all 3. No real need to use them here, you wouldn't think. 2nd and 13 from the 24. Jones lined up to the near side. Caffey gonna drop off. Play action thrown over the middle, blown coverage, and Wilhite was wide open, but the pass from Gormley thrown well behind him.
Yeah, Gormley looked a little rattled on that one. Missed his wide open receiver, and that could have been a big, well, not too big, but big for this Riordan offense to score in this first half.
That's the 2nd or 3rd time where the Bells have had blown coverage and a receiver has just gotten wide open in the secondary, but neither time the pass has been complete.
Yeah, I think luckily for the Bells, their pass rush has been good enough in this first half so far to maybe limit those opportunities for the Riordan offense, but definitely something to talk about if you're the Bells at halftime.
24 seconds to go here in the first half. 3rd and 13 from the 24. Redding is the running back. Gormley throwing for the end zone into double coverage, and the pass is broken up. Ben Coker and Musa Sakafi there. The pass thrown to Zach Jones. There is a flag down at around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Bellarmine's defense picking up on Riordan's offensive scheme pretty quickly. As you see Ben Coker helping out Musa Sakafi on Jones on deep ball.
Roughing the passer, and Michael Gormley is down. Emilio Cruz is their backup quarterback, number 7. Gormley, athletic quarterback, hasn't had the best numbers today, but never want to see anyone go down. 17 seconds to go. The penalty will move the football to the 12-yard line of Bellarmine, 1st and 10. It looks like we'll be seeing Emilio Cruz as Gormley has to be helped off the field. Gormley, 5'11", 175-pound senior. Coming into this game, 3 touchdowns against 2 picks. Emilio Cruz has thrown 2 passes this year, 1 incomplete pass and 1 interception. He's 5'11", 185-pound senior. So 17 seconds left. And Cruz is out there, the backup Riordan quarterback. Riordan, a school which this is their 2nd year with girls there. Used to be an all-boys school like Bellarmine and Sarah, now down to just 2 all-boys schools in the WCAL. Cruz, back to pass, nowhere to go. Gino Cresci right there. Also got help from Piro and Stratz, but Gino Cresci, the first guy there. And remember that Riordan doesn't have any more timeouts, and that's going to be the last play of the first half. So what was the most promising drive, Danny, of the half for Riordan ends in no points as they have to take a sack without any timeouts.
Yeah, just a crushing blow, losing your starting quarterback down 35-0. And backup quarterback Cruz comes in, and a nice warm welcome by Gino Cresci to end the half.
Well, that will do it for the first half. The first half dominated by the Bells. They're up 35-0 at the break. We'll take a break and come on back here. You're listening and watching Bellarmine Varsity Football on the Bellarmine Sports YouTube page. More after this.
Welcome back, everybody, to San Jose City College, where the Bellarmine Bells lead the Riordan Crusaders 35-0 at halftime. I'm Danny Williams, Bellarmine class of 2022, and alongside me, Kevin Dana. And Kevin, this one's out of hand, but in the second half, what would you like to see from a Riordan offense that has been struggling so far with miscommunication, penalties, etc.?
I mean, you just want to see a team that's got their backup quarterback in there make some positive plays happen, because so much went against you. You had a starting offensive lineman go down with an injury. We don't know what's up with Curtis Jones, their best player on offense in the first half with 9 carries for 63 yards, but he didn't play the last 3 or 4 series. And then, of course, Michael Gormley, your starting quarterback, goes down with an injury. And so it's just about trying to build for next week. And, just because you lost the first half 35-0 doesn't mean you need to lose the second half 35-0, right? You don't want to come out of here with a 70-0 loss. So you just want to make improvement from the first half to the second half. I mean, a comeback's probably out of the questions right here now. Of course, what was it, the Houston Oilers blowing a 35-point halftime lead to the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs in the 1990s. I mean, it's happened before, but highly unlikely when you have your backup quarterback in there. But, yeah, you just want to see positive strides made and try to build towards next week.
Yeah, I agree, and it's kind of tough losing your arguably three most important offensive players. But on the other side, Bellarmine looking to get some key backups into this one. What would you like to see this Bellarmine offense do in the second half?
I don't know how long Wade Smith's going to play the second half. He's throwing the football on the sideline, and Bellarmine will get the second half kickoff. I mean, maybe Wade gets a series or two. I'm excited to see Nate Escalada at quarterback. He got a touchdown in mop-up duty against San Leandro. We saw the big run against Menlo Atherton in not mop-up duty, kind of like a wildcat formation. He's an exciting player. I'd be really excited to see him get some snaps at QB in the second half.
Yeah, so just about underway here in this second half. Riordan to kick off. It's like Josh Aguilar, number 10, and Philip Miller, number 25, back deep for the Bells. Squib kick, fielded by Gino Cresci. He has some room. A nice return by Cresci to get it to the 40-yard line.
Now, that's something that Riordan did in the Justin Siena game, squibbing their kicks, because the first week they gave up a couple of kickoff returns for touchdowns against Granada. That was a game in which they were down after the first quarter, but won by 2 touchdowns, 35-21.
So for this Bellarmine offense, it'll be interesting to see which backups come out and start the second half. And it looks like Escalada will be out there, Philip Miller as well. You see Wilson Pimentel to the near side and Riley Perron in the backfield. 1st and 10. Quick throw by Escalada to Miller. And Miller's got some room down the sideline, cuts it back. And a nice gain by Philip Miller. Took a big hit by number 42, Atu Kefu, but good enough for a Bellarmine first down.
I asked Jalal about Philip Miller. He said he's the most coachable young man I have ever coached. Just ask the right questions. It is all about the details. Is a big fan of Philip Miller.
Looks like a holding penalty would be called on the Bells. Came in late, so that'll send him back 10. So the first down pass from Escalada to Philip Miller will be negated. So 1st and 20 for the Bells.
And unfortunately, they're a positive play to start the second half, and you just want to get some stats in the books if you're a backup, right? And it's tough to see kind of a first down pass that went for first down yards get wiped off.
4 receiver set. Escalada looking, fires, and is over the head of Aguilar, but right into the hands of Philip Miller. So Miller able to make up for that negated first down play. Nice grab to get that penalty yardage back and a few more.
Yeah, nice throw, but whether that was the intended target or not, it found a receiver, and Miller kind of sitting in a soft spot in the zone, makes the catch.
So 2nd and 5 now for this Bellarmine offense. Just over 11 minutes to go in this third quarter. Escalada now in place of Wade Smith. Escalada takes snap looking. Escalada up the middle, he's got some room. Across the 50, breaks some tackles and is down across the 35-yard line. Escalada, nice play designed by Jalal Beachman, designed QB draw, able to get it inside Riordan territory.
Danny, it just looked like Nate was shot out of a cannon there, man. He has a second gear and then some. He is fast.
So big play there by Escalada. We've seen him do it with his legs earlier in the season as he takes the direct snap to the far side, cuts it outside, has some room, cuts it back in, and he will be, looks like, just short of the first down. It's like number 10, Davion Smith, on the tackle for Riordan. So a nice play there on first down for the Bells, 2nd and short.
I mean, you don't want to dismiss the other team, but with the way this drive has started, if you're a backup, this is kind of get your stuff on film time, right? Pad your stats and get stuff out there for the college recruits if you want to play at the next level.
So 2nd and 3 for the Bells. Galar and Miller in motion. Escalada, handoff to Riley Perron on the near side. He has some room. Takes 2 defenders to bring him down. Nice carry by Riley Perron. Looked like 42 was in there. Atu Kefu again. We've called his name a lot for this Riordan defense. First down for the Bells.
Yeah, that's a guy that takes up a lot of space inside. You can see his quickness getting to the outside is there as well. Nice to see Riley get a carry, a positive carry. Going to be just shy of a first down.
My apologies. It'll be just short. It's like inches short.
It's basically on the first down marker.
And now it won't be.
Yeah. Looked like Mitch Brown moved. I'm surprised they didn't give him the first down.
Yeah, me too. It looked like the ball was right on the line. I don't know what the refs were looking at there.
I mean, the down marker was right on the first down. It was right at the end of the chains. I'm surprised they didn't even measure it.
Yeah, that was they probably figured with not much time left in this one.
35-0 game. All right, if this was closer, maybe we take a look at it.
Escalada takes the snap. Looking far side. As a receiver over the middle is Philip Miller, and it's right off of his hands. A good delivery there from Escalada, but Philip Miller just couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, Philip had to climb the ladder just a tad there and maybe not quite out in front of him. But still, I think that's one, if you ask Philip Miller after the game, he'd tell you, yeah, I probably should have had that one.
So 4th and 5 and kind of no man's land here for the Bells. They will elect to go for it here. Gino Cresci, first time we've seen him in the backfield.
That movement got Riordan to jump.
Number 44, Gino Andrini, looked like he jumped across the line.
That was well-timed motion. Riordan's clamoring for a false start.
The referees converging, talking this one over. Looks like it's a neutral zone infraction on the Crusaders. So that'll move the ball up 5 yards. And with the weird placement of the ball, it looks like it'll still be 4th down and millimeters for this Bellarmine offense. That's going under center, QB sneak, and he will get it and more. Nice push from the Bellarmine offensive line. and a first down for the Bells.
Yeah, I really like that decision by Nate. Spread the defense out. You're out of the gun, and then you just kind of sneak up to the line of scrimmage and take the snap under center and push the pile forward.
We have an injured Crusader on the field, number 10, Davion Smith.
And again, the injury bug biting the Crusaders. That's a starting linebacker. So they've lost 3 of their top players on offense with offensive linemen, their best player, the running back, and then your starting quarterback. And now you lose one of your top defensive players, potentially. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, the injury bug definitely bit Riordan hard today, and not a guy you want to see go down if you're a Riordan Crusader. So still 1st and 10 for the Bells after that QB sneak by Escalada. 8 minutes and 33 seconds left to go in this third quarter. So the Bellarmine offense back out on the field. 2 receivers to the near side. Riley Perron in the backfield. Nijma in motion. Gets the toss. Has the edge. Nice block. And he will get a first down, but with a flag.
Yeah, I mean, where that flag's thrown, that could be something like a crackback block.
Looks like Riley Perron might have committed that penalty on that one on a crackback block, but we'll see.
It is a holding penalty, so.
Going to move the Bells back 10.
I mean, that's the one thing, if you're the second unit and you're looking to get more playing time, those are the kind of things that will not please the coaching staff. If you want to get more PT, don't commit penalties. And a couple of holding plays, holding calls against Bellarmine on what would have been pretty big plays.
Yeah, not what you want if you're back up on this Bellarmine offense. Commit a penalty here. Potentially a quarter and 3/4 left to play in this one. So 1st and 13 for the Bells. Riley Perron out wide. Pass in the flats, go to him and is low. Perron scrambles on it. Goes as an incomplete pass, 2nd down.
Yeah, it was a heads-up play from Riley Perron, though. You appreciate the hustle. I mean, it was an incomplete pass. It was a forward pass, but we saw it last week and mentioned the backwards pass to Ben Foff when they lost 21 yards. Just want to hop on that football just in case they don't rule it a forward pass.
Bellarmine going a little hurry up here. Escalada looking far side to Wilson Pimentel. Has his man brought down on the far side. Looked like number 21, Luke Zaromsky. Nice catch by Pimentel. It'll make it 3rd down and about 6 for the Bells.
Yeah, I like that. Nice pitch and catch. I mean, Nate Escalada did not waste any time getting that out of his hands.
A gain of 9 on the play, 3rd and 4. And Joel Beachman said, Nate Escalada is so talented. He said he'd be starting at a lot of other schools, but with Wade Smith being as talented as he is, needs to sit a year. But still getting some valuable playing time here with the pitch to Pimentel, or Nijma, I should say, up the middle. Doesn't have a lot of room. Big stop by number 28, McKee Hunt, for the Crusaders. And that'll bring on Chris Rainey to attempt his first field goal of the night.
Again, we talked about in the first half, he said he was good from 50 and in. Definitely no question about his leg strength from 33 yards, but hopefully after missing a couple field goals last week, you can see one go through the uprights.
Snap, the kick is up. Good looking kick, and it is money for Chris Rainey.
Yeah, that's good to see for sure. That's something that will give him some confidence going forward after the 0 for 2 week last week, and that would have been good definitely easily from 40 plus. He had a lot of room to spare on that 33-yard field goal.
So the field goal is up and good to make it 38-0 Bellarmine. And Kevin, what did you like on that drive for the backups for the Bellarmine Bells?
Well, I mean, there was just no let-up. I mean, for a team that's up 35, we mentioned at the end of the first half, there could be a natural reaction to take your foot off the gas, to kind of lollygag a little bit. We got this one in the back. That's not what you saw from this second unit from Bellarmine. These are guys that are hungry to see the field some more, and they showed it there. Yes, there were a couple of holding penalties that wiped off a couple of big plays, but this offense just kept on moving. They got down into scoring position. They were able to put some points on the board.
Yeah, so Bellarmine to kick off here, and you see some numbers we haven't seen tonight. Number 20, Aiden Bajorquez. So 6:30 left to go. This third quarter. Rainey's kick will go into the end zone once again. So Riordan will take it at their 20-yard line with backup quarterback who had to come in after the starting quarterback for Riordan. Michael Gormley got injured in that first half, and that will be Emilio Cruz with limited action so far this season, looking to make a name for himself here with lots of time left to go in the second half.
Yeah, he only attempted 2 passes coming in, and he had 1 snap, and he got sacked at the end of the first half, and that allowed, with Riordan not having any timeouts, and they were unable to get a field goal attempt. But we'll see what Emilio has here pressed into duty. Well, this is a game, Andrew, where I'm not sure I'd want to be a yell leader with all the push-ups they have to do.
Yeah.
Just had to do 38.
Not an easy number, 38 push-ups.
No. I will say, I was in my peak push-up condition like junior, senior year of high school. So I would have been able to knock out those 38. But, it's a lot of exercise for a Friday night when you're just trying to enjoy a football game.
Yeah, and you see some backups in now for the Bells on defense as well. Will Rainey out there at safety. Tyler Martin's at linebacker. And for this Riordan offense, I feel like it is important for them to put some points up on the board. And even more so than that, just play well. Be consistent. Don't make any unforced errors. Just be crisp, clean here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even think about the scoreboard at this point, right? Like, a win's out of the question. You're down 38 midway through the third quarter. You just got to focus on executing. I know it sounds like coach speak, but really that's all you can do in a situation like this.
So it'll be 1st and 20, or 1st and 10 rather, from the 20 for Riordan in this third quarter. And number 4, Tyler Martins. Number 16, Brandon Cantlin, the third string quarterback out there at corner, getting some little defensive action.
He's listed on the 2 deep backup cornerback, so good to see him get out there.
So Riordan with 2 receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. There's the handoff. And nothing going there for Riordan on that one. Brandon Brock in there again. Flag on the play. We will see.
A great push by that defensive line. Just winning the battle in the trenches time after time. Unsportsmanlike on Riordan.
Yeah, and like I was saying in that first half, don't get your tempers get the best of you. It's 38-0. Keep your composure and just try and play as best as you can. That one will set Riordan back 15.
6 penalties committed by both, 7 on Bellarmine unofficially, 6 on Riordan. Has not been a clean game when it comes to the laundry.
So after the big loss by Wilhite on that carry and the penalty to put them back even farther, Riordan 2nd and 20. Two receivers to the far side, one in the near side. Here's the snap, handoff to the outside, breaks a tackle, and he is loose. Down the 30, down the 40, cross midfield. Nice run there by King Wilhite, and a big play from this Riordan offense.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I mean, that's going to be about 40 yards for Wilhite, showing his speed, able to gain the edge and take it down the sideline. Really impressive run for Wilhite, who had a nice 6-yard run in the first half as well.
So big play there from the Riordan offense. Not quite past the 50. They'll spot it at the Riordan 48. First down. Just over 6 minutes left to play in this third quarter. Two receivers to the near side. A handoff. Rainey missed a tackle. And Redding able to keep his feet for a solid gain of about 5. Rainey came soaring down from his safety position. Almost made a great tackle in the backfield, but Redding able to get 5 on that run.
Yeah, he did everything right but get this stop. JVS Redding is a slippery dude. You can see the speed, the shiftiness he has. Hasn't been his game thus far, unofficially 11 carries for 15 yards, but he's definitely a guy who's made some positive plays offensively for the Crusaders this year.
So after the nice carry by Redding, it is 2nd and 5 for the Crusaders. 3 receivers to the near side, running back to the quarterback's right. Looks like a little confusion in the backfield. Nice stiff arm by Wilhite. Able to make something out of nothing on that play. Maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. There is a flag on the play. We will see some confusion in the backfield, and if you're a backup, that is not what you want to see.
No, I mean, that could have been disastrous for Riordan.
To make matters worse, holding call is called against the Crusaders.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, talk about just trying to execute in situations like this. Racking up penalties, certainly not helping your cause. Again, this is about showing the coaches that you deserve more time on the field, and these penalties, either way, aren't helpful.
So 2nd and long for this Riordan offense after the holding penalty. 2nd and 19 to be exact. 2 receivers either side. Wilhite in the backfield. Snap. Cruz looks back to pass. Pressure coming. Rolls out near side. Flings it. And it is incomplete to number 8, Chris Murray. Looked like Patrick Mahomes on that one with that arm angle.
Somebody's been watching Mahomes. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that was a pretty ingenious throw, but you know, they talk about kids wanting to shoot 30-footers because they watch Steph Curry and Damian Lillard in basketball, and you see a high school quarterback there trying to get Patrick Mahomes on. Interesting. Didn't quite work out.
So after the incomplete pass, 3rd and 19 here for Riordan. We'll probably stay conservative on this 3rd and 19. Snap. Takes the handoff, looking far side, throws it deep, and it is almost picked off by Braden Cantlin. Ball was underthrown. Cantlin was right there, but just could not get enough on it to reel that one in.
He was sitting on that route. He knew it was coming his way. He read that the whole way. Everything but make the interception. And yeah, Ruiz whether that was supposed to be, whether he thought that was a comeback route and guy just ran a go route down the seam, or if he didn't have the arm strength to get it to him. Not quite sure what the issue was there, but very fortunate that's not an interception.
So after the near interception, Riordan will be forced to punt. Philip Miller back deep. Snap. Wobbly punt. Lands at the 35. And will die right around the 32-yard line. So not a great punt by the Crusaders, and the Bells will take over at their own 32-yard line.
Yeah, things getting a little testy. Rodrigo Madero is looked like he was trying to help up a player on Riordan, Angelo Orellana. Now, I didn't see what happened before that, but Orellana ran away and kind of put his hands up like, come on. I'm not sure if there was a push in the back beforehand or what, but we talked about the chippiness a little bit, and that's going to happen in a 38-0 ball game.
Yeah, it will, and especially for some of these backups who haven't gotten to play and express their frustration in this one, maybe a little more antsy on the field than some of the starters still playing. So Bellarmine will get the ball at their own 32-yard line. 4 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Bells taking their sweet time on the sideline, probably checking to see who hasn't gotten in yet.
Yeah, you mentioned Brandon Cantlin, third-string quarterback. I wonder if we see Brandon take some snaps here in the second half.
It would not be out of the picture to see Cantlin take some snaps with this one far out of hand, 38-0.
Now, we should mention that reason there's a bit of a prolonged delay is this game is on TV as well, and they are taking a TV timeout. But whoever they decide to throw out there, I think it's going to be Escalada on this series. Pretty sure I saw number 5 getting ready to head out there. And it was a positive drive for the Bells. Their first drive in the second half with the backups. Got a field goal out of it. We'll look to continue that trend here. Just because you're up 38, this isn't about, if you're scoring, this isn't about running the score. This is about, trying to just execute your stuff and continue the good vibes on offense. Again, these are your backups. You want to see them have success on the field too.
And some recent WCAL news, Sacred Heart beating Valley Christian 21-13.
That went final.
I'm not sure if it went final.
Oh, okay.
Last I heard, 21-13, Sacred Heart. And that would be a huge upset. Yeah, very tough lead.
Valley Christian was ranked 11th. And Sacred Heart Cathedral's on 3.
Escalada to Joey Miklas, and he has some room. Miklas with a big hit on defender, brings it across the 50, and a nice run there by Joey Miklas after the catch. So it'll be a first down for the Bells after that big play into Riordan territory. First down for the Bells from the 49. Escalada, handoff to Riley Perron to the far side, and big hit laid down by number 42, Atu Kefu, on Riley Perron. Minimal gain on that carry.
Yeah, Kefu, he's a big dude. We talked about him. He's been one of the more impressive players on this Riordan defense, laying the lumber there.
Like number 28, Matteo Shelton out there for Bellarmine now. New face. 2nd and 10, no gain on the play. Escalada looking. Near side. Trying to create some space and is pushed out of bounds by Kevin, and that will be a flag.
I was about to say that's 15. He was way out of bounds, or he was going out of bounds as that hit was being laid on. Again, that's a frustration penalty right there. There's just trying to get a shot in and take out your anger. But that was pretty clearly a personal foul penalty.
And if you're Kefu, a lot of frustration, obviously, down 38-0.
Yep.
But you don't want your tempers to get the best of you when you're down. Keep a level head, stay composed, make big plays. We've seen him make big plays all day, but a play like that will not look good.
No, it won't.
So first down for the Bells after the penalty. We'll see Gabriel Abella in on the offensive line. Hand off to Cantlin. Not Cantlin, excuse me. Shelton, I should say, with a nice gain on that right side. Gain of about 4 on first down. Perron back in the game.
Update for you after this play from the Valley Christian game.
Scalata. Hand off to Perron up the middle. And is really close to a first. This will be close. We'll see where the ball is placed. And he's just short. An update from the game.
All right. So 1:36 to go in the fourth quarter. Valley Christian went ahead. Got a touchdown. They're up 27-21. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So they lead Sacred Heart Cathedral. 1:36 to go. Up 27-21.
So big game brewing between those two teams. Potentially an upset. We will see. Right now, Bellarmine driving. Flag on the play.
There's some more chippiness here. This time between Gino Andrini and Josh Aguilar. Some contact after the whistle. This flag was against Bellarmine illegal procedure, but this thing, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised maybe the coaches agree to like a running clock in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, just to limit maybe some potential chippy activity, as Perron has a nice run on the left side. Good gain to get that penalty yardage back and more as he jogs to the sideline. It will be a first down for the Bells, so a nice run by Perron.
Got a couple of nice carries in this game. Trying to prove that he deserves more time. Riley, a junior, so we'll have one more year to show what he can do.
Gino Cresci in the backfield now. Rocco Ciprani lined up as the fullback. Escalado handoff to Cresci. Makes one man miss, has some room off the far side, stiff arm, and will get a gain of 7. I played with Gino Cresci my sophomore year on JV, and he was the primary ball carrier for our team. And let me tell you, this guy, he runs really, really hard.
I mean, that was impressive. Just that jump cut he made right off the bat. He was able to speed to the outside. That was a really impressive run. What was it like practicing with a guy like that?
In practice, on defense, you never wanted to go against him, but on offense, you always wanted him to be on your side. Tough runner and a big guy. You don't really expect him to be that shifty or quick, but between the tackles, he can make some people miss.
He made some people miss there.
So 2nd and 4, just over a minute left to play.
Yeah, that's a false start.
So a lot of penalties here in their third quarter. Could be attributed to the number of backups in here.
Yeah, I'd say so. Guys who aren't used to being on the field, especially this length of time, these penalties will happen. Obviously, that's something that Jalal Beachman will try to hone in on with this backup group, but some stuff that can certainly happen.
So 2nd and 8 now. Escalada looking to pass. Scrambling, near side. Stiff arm. Still on his feet, but is finally brought down by number 44 for Riordan, Gino Andrini. And Escalada did not go down without a fight on that run.
I thought he was going to get out of that last tackle as well. I mean, he is a shifty dude. That's as pretty as a 4-yard loss as you're going to see. I don't think Bellarmine's going to. Yeah, they're going to wait till this gets to the 4th quarter.
So with the 4th quarter underway, Bellarmine up 38-0, tacking on a field goal by Chris Rainey. And we will be back at the start of the 4th quarter. Bellarmine up 38-0. Welcome back, everybody, to this 4th quarter. Bellarmine up leading 38-0. As Escalada runs up the sideline on an option play. There's a flag on the field. And we have the final for you from that Valley Christian and Sacred Heart game. Valley Christian ended up pulling it out in the end, 27-21, but a hard-fought game nonetheless.
Yeah, and that was a game in which they were down 8 in the 4th quarter, got the go-ahead touchdown with 1:36 to go.
And St. Francis now up 33-0 against St. Ignatius, continuing their dominance after a ginormous win against De La Salle.
And actually, yeah, that just went final. So you can put a bow on that one. So the top 2 teams in the Bay Area News Group, top 25. Well, actually, the number 2 team, Valley Christian's number 11, but a couple of ranked teams get wins. Oh, big penalty.
Looked like maybe an unsportsmanlike on the Bells. That'll put them back very far. Still 3rd down. Rodrigo Madera, Josh Aguilar, Wilson Pimentel. Joey Miklas. Riley Perron out there for the Bells.
Just your traditional 3rd and 32.
Yep. Receivers in a bunch. Escalada will take the handoff. Looking to get some room to the outside. Has a couple of blockers, but will be wrapped down around the 30-yard line. Number 76 in there for Riordan to make the tackle. Ball will be placed at the 30.
I'd be curious to see what Bellarmine does here. I mean, I'm sure Rainey wants to get out there. There is an injured player. 47-yard field goal, but you're up 38-0. I'm sure Riordan wouldn't be happy about a field goal attempt here. Curious to see what they do. And I mean, you're not going to punt from the 30. Run up the middle on 4th and 16.
Looks like Rainey's getting some practice kicks in right now. Injured player on the field, we cannot tell.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys standing up in front of. Yeah, Jalal Beachman's looking over at his injured player, so that's directly in our line of sight. We can't see.
Looks like it might be Joey Miklas, the injured player for the Bells.
Yeah, that nice reception late in the 3rd quarter.
So Rainey looks like he's coming out to kick. And this will be a test for Rainey to really test his range here.
Yeah.
Up 38-0. Like you said last week, from 48, had the distance. Not quite the accuracy.
Yeah, that is Joey.
Good to see him getting up. Walking off under his own power.
Good to see him walk off under his own power.
It's like they're having a little trouble with his helmet on the sideline. So after the injury, Bellarmine will line up.
Yeah, it is Rainey.
For a field goal. Try and make this one 41-0 with just over 10 minutes to go here in this 4th quarter.
47 yards. What this is going to be.
This would be big for Rainey, boost his confidence, and maybe later down the line in close games, be a weapon for the Bells. The kick is up, and it is no good. Had the distance, but just a little left on the kick. So the lead stays 38-0 after the missed field goal, and Riordan will get the ball at their own 30.
Yeah, I mean, didn't miss by much. I mean, of course, our depth perception, I should say my depth perception is not that great, so I couldn't tell how wide left that was. But I mean, again, the leg is there, and it's just a matter of putting it through the uprights. And I'm not a kicker, so I couldn't tell you how to kick any better.
On the Bellarmine defense, Braden Cantlin out there. Tyler Martins. Number 81 is now out there, Evan Chung. So Riordan will start at the 20. Handoff. Broken tackle. Still on his feet,
Whoa.
cuts it back to the other side and has some room to the 40, to the 50, and he has blockers out in front. Makes a man miss and is finally dragged down. King Wilhite, what a run. Down inside the 20.
That was a fun play. Now we have some offensive linemen that are sticking around midfield, and well, all of that is for naught. A 62-yard run's going to go back.
Yeah, and on runs like that with misdirection, you almost oftentimes see linemen trying to hold to keep the defenders from getting the running back across the other side. So the big run from Wilhite wiped off the board. And instead of a 62-yard gain, that will go as a 10-yard loss.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, you mentioned it, Danny. He had the entire defense going one way, and then it was wide open on the wide side of the field, and nearly took advantage, but another penalty, which by our count, I got 17 combined penalties. Might be off a couple.
17 is not a pretty number for penalties for both teams. Bellarmine with a few in that third quarter, and Riordan spreading them out throughout the entire game.
We love Joey chant from the Bell student section, and their support to Joey Miklas.
Now number 20, Aiden Bajorka is in there at linebacker, the junior. Two receivers to the near side for Riordan. Cruz takes a snap, delayed handoff to Wilhite. Makes a couple of people miss. Nice move. And is brought down to the 24. Brought down by Peter Flores. A new entry into the game for the Bells. And a gain of 4 for Wilhite. And after this one, the Bells will most likely move to 4-0 and Riordan to 3-1. And Bells with a convincing win. Do you think they have a chance to jump into that top 3, maybe top 4? It would be tough.
Yeah, it would, just because you got to factor what the teams ahead of you: Sarah, St. Francis, De La Salle, Pittsburgh, and Los Gatos. I mean, De La Salle probably ain't losing anytime soon. Same with Sarah, St. Francis, and Pittsburgh. So, and St. Francis already shut out St. Ignatius.
Cruz gets the snap, pressure in his face, and Evan Chung will get in there for the sack.
Now, you love to see that. Backup getting in there, wasn't even on the 2 deep. Comes in and makes a play. And Evan Chung, guy who's listed as a linebacker, getting in there and quick to the ball. Really nicely done by Evan.
Evan Chung, a junior. Cantlin out. Number 85, Sean Mcguire into the game. First time seeing him.
I was reading the YouTube comments from the broadcast. Someone said put Chung in, and well, Chung's in there.
First series for Chung on defense and making a difference with the sack. 3rd and 10 for Riordan. 3 receivers in the near side. Cruz looking. Fires deep down the far side. He's got a man and he is open. And makes the great catch. Number 3, Zach Jones down the sideline. Beat his defender. And a nice throw by Cruz. Looks like we have a man down. No, he's on his feet. He's running. Number 75 for Riordan.
I think Christian. Sorry. Go ahead.
J.C. Campos, a little slow to get up, and now he's moseying on over to the sideline.
I was going to say, Christian Frias made a touchdown-saving tackle there. Yeah, he might have gotten beat on the throw, but if he whiffs there, Riordan's got the bagel off the scoreboard.
Yeah, that was a good tackle there, laid out to make that stop, but nonetheless still a big play from that Riordan offense.
That's the second big reception for Zach Jones. He had a 39-yard reception earlier, 36 there. And their go-to receiver, deep threat.
First and 10 for Riordan. Handoff to Wilhite. Makes a couple of people miss. Breaks a few more tackles, stays on his feet to the near side. He's got some room, and he will go down to the 1 yard line. A great run by Wilhite, holding the ball like he was Michael Vick there.
I was about to say he was pretty loose with the football in his hands. But, man, that was an impressive run. I thought initially that when he was tackled that he went down on a Bellarmine player. I didn't think he was actually down. I thought he got into the end zone. And our stream, it's a little bit delayed from, what you're seeing. So, I just pulled it up, saw that last play. I don't think he was down.
So 1st and goal from the 1 for Riordan, looking to punch it in, score their first points of the game. Handoff. Handoff. No handoff. It's a keeper. Keeper from Cruz. Flag on the play. Just short. So a little read option there from Cruz. Didn't make it in, but there's a flag on the play. It looks like it's holding against Riordan.
That's a frustrating penalty. You've been shut out all game. You are knocking on the door. You are literally 1 yard away, and a holding penalty pushes you 10 yards back.
Seems like that's been a common theme here for Riordan in this game. Costly penalties, costly turnovers, really setting them back as far as the first play of the game with Brody Strath's interception.
Yeah, they've just kind of been behind the 8 ball the entire game. 7 seconds in, they're already down 7-0. Their defense hung tough for a couple of series, but then the levee broke as the first half wore on.
So 1st and 11 for Riordan. Cruz's pass far side, juggled, still caught. And the push by the Riordan offensive line might get number 21, Luke Zaromsky, into the end zone, but he is marked just short. So Riordan right back where they were. Nice run after the catch by Zaromsky.
Yeah, I mean, he was tough to bring down. He took the entire defense with him, got so close.
So 2nd and goal for Riordan here. Bellarmine looking to make a stand. Keep that 0 on the board.
He was basically stopped at the 5 yard line, went another 4 yards.
Cruz under center. The handoff. And the touchdown for Riordan. Their first points of the game. Looks like the big man, number 42, Atu Kefu, got the handoff, barreled it right down the middle, and Riordan scores their first points of the game.
Yeah, no, Atu Kefu was a guy who used to really be a big part of this offense a couple of years ago. And I'm talking about getting carries. He had 328 rushing yards 2 years ago, 4 rushing touchdowns, 6 yards per carry. This year, he had only rushed twice before that handoff right there.
So Riordan scoring their first touchdown here in this 4th quarter with 1 minute and 19 seconds left to go. It's number 12, Jack McNulty, lines up for the extra point. Bad snap, and it is blocked. Bellarmine blocks the extra point. Looked like number 59, Logan Edson, was in there.
You love to see that from special teams in a game that's already decided. I'm trying to see on the replay who got in off the edge. Yeah, I want to see Logan Edson as well. But coaches can give you kind of a more accurate retelling after the fact. But really, really impressive stuff there. kind of making those extra plays on special teams has been a big-time positive in this game. You think about all the touchbacks Jack ran. Yeah, he missed one field goal, but he did hit one from 33. Then, of course, the punt return for a touchdown for Zach Atobre kind of caught Riordan sleeping when they thought the football was downed already. So, overall, a really big plus for Bellarmine special teams.
And going back to that play from Zach Atobre, one of the craziest plays I've ever seen in a game, and one of the weirdest plays, the Riordan player kicking the ball instead of touching it to down it, and Atobre making the heads-up play and running to the end zone.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a play quite like that. You always they say it about baseball, even though the game's been around for more than 100 years. You always see something that you haven't seen before in a baseball game every time you come out. That's something we've watched a lot of football. And that's something we haven't really seen before.
So Riordan to kick off with 1:19 left. Philip Miller and Josh Aguilar back deep for the Bells. And next week, moving forward for the Bells, a very tough task against the #1 ranked Serra Padres, who tomorrow play the Archbishop Midi Monarchs.
I mean, maybe that's one thing. You get one extra day of rest as opposed to Serra, because they're playing a day later. They play on a Saturday afternoon next week. It's gonna take a village to beat the Padres.
Well, squib kick, pounced on by the Bells. Number 22, Jake Hansen with the recovery.
That was a heads-up play by Jake, because that was a screamer right at him. And he did well, knock it down, fall on top of the ball, and 56 seconds left. You got a running clock now. Not that you need good field position, but that was nicely done by Jake.
So running clock, 40 seconds left in this one. Bellarmine will move to 4-0 to stay undefeated, and Riordan will fall to 3-1.
I'll get Cantlin in there for a snap. Probably just victory formation, but.
Cantlin, the third string quarterback in there, takes a snap, takes a knee. And this one is over. So, Bellarmine with a very convincing 38-6 win over the previously undefeated Riordan Crusaders. Bellarmine moves to 4-0, Riordan to 3-1.
And the Jalal Beachman gravy train just continues to chug along at a very nice pace. This has been a fantastic start to the season. You knew that this was going to be, when you're able to take down Menlo Atherton, the then #5 team in the Bay Area, according to the San Jose Mercury News, that you had something here. You back it up with a dominating performance of another top 20 team on the road, and then you beat one of the best teams in the Sac Joaquin section. You knew that you were going to be able to contend in the WCAL this year, and nothing that we saw from tonight would change any of those perceptions.
Yeah, no doubt. And for the Bells, like you said, a convincing win. And against Central Catholic, you told me if the Bellarmine Bells won that game, you made the bold prediction that Jalal Beachman's record will never fall below 500. And that prediction looks more and more convincing after this game. And this game not only being a win, but a very convincing one.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jalal's now 6-3 as a head coach. 2-3 last year, 4-0 this year. Sarah's going to be a very tough game, but with the way this team's playing right now, I mean, it's just hard to imagine them losing 3 straight. I mean, you look at Midi after Sarah versus Sacred Heart Cathedral, and if you're Bellarmine, obviously any opponent in the WCL is tough, but with the way you're playing right now, you're not afraid of anybody on your schedule. And Yeah, I mean, Jalal has just done a great job with this team. They are believing. I mean, the San Jose Mercury News is Darren Sabedra caught up with some players after the win over Central Catholic. They are all saying, we believe we're going to beat anybody we play. Not to be cocky, but just we have the confidence in ourselves, and that's something that Jalal Beachman has instilled in these guys. They have the belief that they can beat anybody.
Yeah, they do, and 4 very big wins early in this season for the Bells, and next week, like I mentioned, against the very tough, very powerful Serra Padres.
And that will be a fun one for sure against Serra's at Mitty. And then our next broadcast will be against Sacred Heart Cathedral on the 15th. We got 2 more broadcasts for you, and then the big one against St. Francis on October 22nd. That could be a game as we're looking down the line. Of course, this is week 1 of 7 in WCAL play, so a ton to be decided. But that could go a long way towards deciding who wins the WCAL this year.
It could, and if both teams keep it up, we could potentially have 2 one-loss or no-loss teams battling it out at that point in the season.
Exactly. So that will be an interesting one to see for sure. But first things first, obviously you want to celebrate this win. Any WCAL win is a good win. Dominated from the first snap and continued on. Got the big 32-point win. Then it's on to Serra, and this is a team you can't rest on your laurels for too long. And Patrick Walsh, one of the best coaches in the Bay Area with what he's done at Serra, especially the last 10 years or so. This is a program that was on the rise, and they have been at the top for quite some time now. It is going to be a big-time game in San Mateo next Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it will, and every game it's looking like is going to be a big game in this conference. And it's interesting, I can't remember a time when the WCAL has been this competitive with so many teams battling for the top spot. I mean, you have Valley Christian, who almost lost to Sacred Heart today, who was previously 0-3. And Bellarmine continuing their undefeated streak, 4-0. Valley Christian, obviously, with the big come-from-behind win. Serra, St. Francis, this is looking to be an interesting season.
It really is. And WCL is usually really strong, Danny, but this year I think exceptionally shall be, in large part because Bellarmine, I'm not sure if this is the right term, but it feels like Bellarmine is quote-unquote back. They've had a few down years, but this is the team that has been one of the heavyweights of the WCL for decades plus, and they're back at the top of the heap, right up there, and certainly a team that's going to have a say in league play this year.
That's right, and we will see coming down the stretch who will make it to the top of the mountain in the WCL. But for now, Bellarmine moves to 4-0, Riordan 3-1. So signing off here from San Jose City College, I am Danny Williams. Alongside me, Kevin Dana, and we will see you against Sacred Heart Cathedral.